Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Fish Midwest. I'm your host John B, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the best bait casting rod and reel setup for under $170. And I get this question a lot. I get a lot of people asking me, what's the best setup I can get for my buck? People don't want to spend a whole lot of money these days. Fishing equipment has become a lot more expensive than it used to be, and finding the right setup for a beginner angler or for someone who goes out all the time can be difficult. So today, I'm going to be sharing my personal preference for a rod and reel under $170. I thought $170 is a decent price point. If you really want to get into bass fishing, you're going to have to get used to spending some money. So I thought $170 is a happy medium. It's not too inexpensive, but not too expensive. But $170 can get you in a really nice setup. And the one I've got right here is, in my opinion, the best. So thanks for watching, and you guys stay tuned. So I've gone through quite a lot of setups in my days. I've probably gone through, close to 20 rods, casting and spinning. I've gone through a lot of reels. I've sold a lot of reels. I've bought a lot of reels. I've traded a lot of reels in. I've been using bait casting equipment and bass fishing equipment for about, I'd say, 6 years now. So I've been using, a lot of different types of brands and companies and finding which ones I prefer best. And this is my least expensive one right here, and it's also one of my favorite setups. And what we got right here is a all Lew's setup. And I want to let you guys know I have no sponsored affiliation with Lew's. They're not giving me this so I can talk about it. I'm not getting any money. I just purely like their equipment and purely like what they have to offer to the bass fishing industry. So to get started, I'm going to talk about this Lew's reel that I've got right here. This is by far one of my smoothest reels that I own, and like I said before, it's my least expensive reel that I own, which is just crazy if you think about it. What this is the Lew's Speed Spool, the SS1. It's just one of their base model reels, and you can get it on Tackle Warehouse for $89.99. That's like the base price for it. You can go on eBay and probably get them for less expensive. I'm sure you can go on eBay and score some of these guys for like, as inexpensive as $60 in the box. So you just got to keep that in mind, as you could find, different deals all around, whether it be eBay, Tackle Warehouse, Bass Pro Shop. It doesn't matter. There's never a set price on a piece of equipment. So MSRP on this thing, like I said, is $89.99. It's an awesome low profile bait casting reel. Fits right in the palm of my hand. If you're one of those guys that has big hands that doesn't like holding a huge cylinder reel or something like that, a conventional reel, this thing fits perfectly in my hands. And even someone with a small hand too, it just grips right in there. It's an awesome low profile reel. This reel weighs 7.6 ounces. For a reel that's under $100, 7.6 ounces is an astounding weight, actually. I found this reel to be extremely light and extremely easy to use. It's a very comfortable reel, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. This specific one is a 6.4 to 1 gear ratio. And the thing is for a beginner angler, I would recommend a 7.1 to 1 because it's just an all-around perfect reel to use for jigs, frogs, anything like that. But a 6.4 to 1 is almost like a happy medium. You can use it for jigs, still get away with it, and you can also use it for cranks too. So you don't have to get like a 5.1 to 1 or something really slow or something like that. The 6.4 to 1 is a happy medium, and you can use it for different types of techniques. So you're not limited with what you can throw with this reel. This reel can fit 120 yards of 12-pound test. So it's got a deep spool to it. It's got a really high line capacity spool, so you can spool it up with some heavy braid. You can put 20-pound fluoro on this thing and probably have close to 90 yards, which is all you really need because 20-pound, you're going to use it for flipping and stuff like that. So it's an awesome reel, perfectly balanced. The drag on this thing is great. I'm not specific on what the pound drag is on this. I'll have to look that up, put it probably right below me right now because I'll look it up later. But it's got a really nice drag, really smooth drag as well. I've got it on lock right now and I can hardly pull line out. So it's got a really cool drag. And like I said, for a reel that's on $100, that's outstanding. That's unbelievable, especially in today's fishing industry. $100 reel will hardly get you anywhere. But with these Lew's, I don't know, they just build them for success, and I really like it. It's got magnetic braking right there, and if you open it up, this is what the inside of the spool looks like. So you don't have any centrifugal brakes, which is kind of a downer, but you don't really expect that for something with $100. Definitely the perfect beginner, inexpensive casting setup. Would highly recommend this. This reel also has great castability, even on a low brake setting. It doesn't free spool a whole lot. Your line doesn't start spewing out. It's got great brakes, great castability, very smooth reel. This got 9 ball bearings plus 1 roller, so a whopping 10 ball bearings all combined in this reel, making it an extremely smooth and easy usable reel when you're out in the water fishing tournament or just for fun. I like this handle on here. It's just a kind of a basic handle, but I like how Lew's has these big paddles on there. You don't miss it if you're going, if you're just working like this and you need to get down on that reel, you're not going to miss it. It's a big paddle, and they make them so they're also light too, so it doesn't decrease or increase the weight of the reel. That's about it for the reel. It's, like I said, just an awesome reel. You can find this pretty much anywhere. They're all over the place, and they're still making them, which is really great. Now, I want to talk to you guys about the rod. Now, this rod I haven't owned as long as the reel. I've owned this reel for probably about 2 or 3 years now, and I've had no problems whatsoever with it. I hardly have to oil it up. I've dropped it in the water. I've dropped it on like cement 100 times, and reel's fine. But I haven't had this rod for a very long time, so I haven't really put this thing to the complete test. I've had this rod for about a year now, and this is the American Hero Speed Stick, and they just kind of came out with this one. Actually, it probably was less than a year because they literally just came out with this. It's a very awesome rod. This is a 7-foot medium action rod. Definitely something I would consider. A small low profile reel with a 7-foot medium or medium heavy action rod for a beginner. Something like this you can use with crankbaits, you can use it with plastics, jigs, even like a small frog. As long as you're not fishing like some California Delta slop, you should be able to get away with it no problem. As far as the rod construction goes, on this American Hero, it's made out of a IM6 graphite rod blank, which is a pretty high rating for a rod that I believe is priced at $69.99. I'm not sure. It's either $69.99 or $79.99. I'll put it in the description below all the total costs there anyways. But that's a pretty good blank for something that's under $100. There aren't a whole lot of rods out there that are IM6 and that are $100. So Lew's did a great job of packing a bunch of awesome attributes into one rod, and also the same way with the SS1. But another cool thing about this rod too is it's got high quality guides, high quality inserts. I believe these are Pac Bay. I think that's the name of the guide company, but these are Pac Bay Guides, which is a reputable guide company that produces guides. It's not Fuji, but you don't always have to have a Fuji guide on your rod. There's plenty of other companies out there that make and produce awesome guides for your rods. Never had any problems with these. I've stuck this rod down in rocks to pop a jig out or a crankbait out. Have had no problems with it. The inserts have been really good to me. As far as being scratched up and dented, all the inserts look pretty clean to me, and I've been using this thing and I've beaten the living heck out of it. Really, I put my rods and reels to the test because I want to know what's going to last me the longest. It's a very, very comfortable reel as well. As you can see, this reel seat right here it's a split separate reel seat. It's got that separate trigger right there, allowing that blank to be exposed. And that's another thing too, as I'd suggest for beginner anglers, is to get a rod that has an exposed reel seat, so you can feel those light bites. Especially when you're not used to feeling like a light bite, if it may be like spring or fall, and you're using a jig and the fish are just sucking that jig in. You're able to feel that right there because your hand is on the actual axis of the blanks. Everything you feel is right down in this reel seat. So it's a very cool looking, I think a lot of people like the look of this style, and it's a very comfortable way to fish. I like it, some people don't. I used to not be a fan of it until I started using this American Hero rod, and it just fit well. You don't really have a top part of the reel seat too, so you don't have to worry about the cork being there. So you can actually put your finger right there as well, and have this finger, your middle finger right under there, under the reel seat, and just get a really good feel for when you're running over rocks or getting a bite, or just feeling what's down at the bottom. It's got a split grip, which reduces the actual overall weight of the rod. I don't have the rod weight with me off the top of my head, but I'll put it in the description also. I like how they've put this little hook hanger right there, so you don't have to worry about your line getting tangled up. Usually, hook hangers are right above the reel seat, and they'll get tangled up, and it's a mess sometimes. So they've kind of eliminated that wear and tear and just put it right down there, and that's something you don't see on a rod that's $100 too. You think of a $100 rod, you think of a company that doesn't put a whole lot of time in a rod. They just pump out a blank, threw a couple guides on it, and called it a day pretty much. Lew's really put a whole lot of time into this, and they've even got that little Lew's button right there. I just think it's cool. I just think they've put a lot of time in this rod for something that's as inexpensive as this. But all around great setup. for a price that is ranging to about $160 to about $165 depending on taxes. So this whole setup is probably one of my favorite, least expensive that I've ever owned, that I probably will ever own unless they start pumping out some great stuff. I mean, this setup is way ahead of its time, in my opinion. You guys can purchase these in Tackle Warehouse, eBay, pretty much any type of Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, whatever's around you, Gander Mountain. It's a very, very nice setup. I would highly suggest this if you're just getting started in the bait casting fishing. If you're just getting started in bass fishing in general too. If you've never used a bait caster though, give this a shot. It's a very easy reel to use. It's easy to figure out. It's just got the magnetic brakes to it. You don't have to worry about the centrifugal brakes. Fish for a couple years or a couple months, get the swing into it, then switch over to a Lew's or whatever type of company you're using that's got centrifugal brakes and give it a go. But definitely recommend this. Check it out. This is just my personal preference. I'm sure you guys have your own. But if you're looking for a good setup that's under $170, check this out. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time in the next episode of Fishing the Midwest.